Welcome back. Today's our last FAMS Flow program, and how exciting to end with the theme of success. So I thought, what better way to end our series together by standing. Nice, strong pose. We're going to prepare for mountain. So, because this will be our centering pose as well, certainly if you'd like to modify and use a seated position instead, feel free. But if you're choosing a successful mountain stance, we're just going to come to the head of our mat, bringing your feet roughly hip distance apart, and just let the arms release down to your sides. Maybe even rotate the forearms so that the palms are facing forward, ensuring that the knees are still soft. We don't want to lock them. And just invite the eyes to close, taking a deep cleansing breath and scanning the body from head to toe, and taking note of what you're feeling and how you're feeling. And starting with the face, go ahead and relax the areas surrounding the eyes and the brow. Soften the jaw and the cheeks, leaving that little cushion of space between the teeth. And from here, let's start to lower the chin toward the chest. Inviting a light stretch in the back of the neck. And then with the chin tucked in, slowly begin to rotate the head, sweeping the chin from shoulder to shoulder. And slowly bring the head back to neutral, leveling the chin parallel to the floor. And from here, we're going to release the right ear toward the right shoulder. And slowly bring the head back to neutral, and we're just going to switch sides. Good, and head back to neutral. Now let's travel into the hands and actually start to rotate the wrists. Wiggle the fingers. Give your hands a nice squeeze and even flex and extend the wrists, helping to soften those forearms. And then gently allow the hands to come back to rest. And then just start to wiggle the toes. Releasing them, and then rock your feet gently from side to side, just switching the pressure slightly inward toward the big toe and outward. Good, and come back to a nice stable four-corner position. Now from here, we're going to start to awaken the breath, and we're going to make this dynamic. So when you're ready, with the mouth closed, drawing the air only in and out through the nose, let's start to lengthen that breath. So inhale, send the arms up. Nice energetic reach, and just holding it at the top end, but still breathing deeply. And with each inhale, feel yourself kind of stretching, reaching through those fingertips out through the top of the head. And with every exhale, feel yourself rooting a little deeper into the feet. Now, exhale, slowly release the arms down to your sides. And then inhale, lift them right back up. So just as we're deepening that breath as well, maybe even extending through the reach. So on the inhales, maybe lifting the head, looking between the hands, and then exhale, kind of exaggerate that, lengthening the fingertips toward the floor. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower, even lowering the chin toward the chest. Give me two more. And as you make your way through that final round, We're going to exhale, release the arms down to your sides. Good. And now slowly start to roll the shoulders toward the back. Lower the chin toward the chest, and we're going to roll the shoulders forward. And now set the shoulders down and back, leveling the chin parallel to the floor. And we're going to prepare to practice our blind step back. So keeping your focus forward, so toes, hips and knees pointing in that direction. And we're going to shift the weight into that right foot. Let's step back with the left. And you can take as many steps as you need to find just the right stance. And remember, we want enough distance between both feet to challenge our balance comfortably, but also to allow for a safe lunge in that forward knee. And certainly if you have a chair nearby or if you're close to a wall, you can use that for support. Giving a quick peek to make sure the toes are within view, and let's just start to correct the posture. Inhale, send the arms up. Or you can adjust the arms out. As always, listening to your body and what feels good for you. But nice strong stance here. 50-50 pressure in both feet and noticing where you feel lengthening and strengthening. And still rising away from the waist, utilizing those core muscles from front to back. Now on an exhale, we're going to float open into your warrior two. So just opening the heart and the hips. Nice extension through the arms. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. And directing your gaze to the fingernails on that right hand. And certainly taking advantage of this heart opening position, so breathing is unobstructed. So take the time to fill the lungs, feeling the back broadening. And now on an inhale, we're going to prepare for our reverse warrior. So sending that right hand up toward the ceiling. Left hand to the left thigh, or you can cross that arm behind the back, rising away from the waist. And if you'd like to challenge your balance, you can look up toward the heel of the hand. And remember, if you're taking care of the knee, you can always adjust the depth of the lunge. Good. Inhale, let's return back to that warrior two position, regaining the balance. And from here, we're going to bend now that right elbow, place the forearm to the thigh, and on an inhale, we're going to send the left hand up toward the ceiling. But we're not resting on this thigh. I want you to make it active. So actually push against the thigh, which is going to help you flatten out, kind of revolving open. Keeping the legs stable and steady, even pressure in both feet. And again, deep breaths, maybe looking up toward the heel of the hand. Excellent. Let's rotate the head to look down. And on an exhale, we're going to release now that left hand toward the floor, coming off of the left heel, and gently, slowly, softly lower your left knee, uncurling the toes. We're going to prepare for a pose that we call baby dragon, and this is a nice stretch for the inner thigh. So go ahead and release that right hand to the mat as well. And we just have 90-degree knees, both forward and back. And this is going to open up the lower back, but also the outer aspect of the hip on that right side. If by chance you don't feel the stretch, you can always bend your elbows to change the intensity. Even if you're just holding it for one breath, go ahead and celebrate. Good. Straightening the arms, lifting the head and the torso, and we're just going to walk that right foot out to the side, sweep it back to meet the left. Big toes together, knees open wide. We're going to take a seat into child's pose. And remember, you can modify this by resting on the forearms and the elbows with the hips elevated. But if it's available to you, go ahead and settle in, allow the torso to become heavy. Good. On the inhale, we're going to slowly rise up into our table. Now we're going to be making our transition to standing, but by way of down dog. If that's not comfortable for the upper extremities, certainly you can make your transition to standing in any manner that's comfortable for you, whether it's utilizing a chair or the wall. But if you'd like, tuck the toes under, and on an exhale, lift the hips up and back, coming into your down dog. Nice stretch for the hamstrings. And begin to bend one knee at a time, alternating slowly from side to side, loosening up the hips. Good. And then inhale, we're just going to step the feet forward, coming into your forward fold. And if you have a yoga block or a stool or a stack of books nearby, you can use that to rest your hands on, or you can bend your knees and just release the elbows and forearms to the thighs. Welcoming that hamstring stretch. Hands to the thighs, scoop the tailbone under as you slowly rise up to standing. Give yourself a moment to collect your balance. Good. And now, bringing your feet back to the front edge of your mat, we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So shift your weight into that left foot, keeping your focus forward. We're going to take the blind step back with the right, as many steps as you need. And remember that rear foot, we want a nice 45-degree angle, and then start to explore your lunge. Making sure the toes are within view, start to correct the posture, and then inhale, send the arms up or out. Rising away from the waist, again, 50-50 pressure in both feet. And don't forget to smile and breathe. Even in the face of challenging poses, maintaining that sense of calmness. And also finding that delicate balance between work and ease. So let's exhale, float open into your warrior two. Virabhadrasana 2. Nice extension through the arms, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. And again, taking note of how the joints are feeling. And make those subtle adjustments. If things are feeling easy, go ahead and celebrate. But then maybe settle in deeper. But if your muscles and joints are saying, I need a little break today, remember, you can modify, pulling out of the lunge or even releasing the arms to give them a rest. Let's inhale into your reverse warrior. Sending that left hand up, right hand to the right thigh, or you can cross that arm behind the back, rising away from the waist. Still breathing deeply. And again, taking note of where you feel strengthening, lengthening, but also balance here. Good. Inhale, return back to that warrior two position, regaining the balance. And we're going to bend now that left elbow, place the forearm to the thigh as you inhale. Send that right hand up, pushing against the thigh, flattening the back. And if you'd like to challenge your balance, you can look up towards your thumb. Good. Inhale, rotate your head to look down. We're going to exhale, slowly release that right hand to your mat, coming off of the right heel. And then bending that knee, uncurl the toes. We want roughly 90-degree bend in both the forward and the rear knee. And you're going to notice a little stretch, the outer aspect of the hip, the IT band, and the glutes. Placing that left hand to the inside of the left foot. If you have a pillow or a block, you can even elevate yourself a little bit more. Or if you'd like to increase the intensity, remember, you can bend the elbows and sink in a little deeper. This is your practice. Explore what feels good for you, but also welcome the opportunities to maybe increase the intensity, because that's how we grow, not just in strength, but even in flexibility poses as well. Small improvements with each breath. Let's go ahead and lift the torso. And we're going to walk that foot out to the side, sweep it back to meet the right. And once again, big toes together, knees open wide. Let's settle in to child's pose. And now take a moment to savor that balance from left to right. Good. And we're going to slowly rise up once again into your table. Reset the alignment, tucking the toes under, and we're going to make that transition back into standing once again. So if you'd like to move through down dog, on an exhale, let's lift the hips up and back. And gently rock the hips from side to side. Bringing the hips back to center. Let's inhale, step the feet forward, coming into your forward fold. Once again, you can use your yoga block or a stack of books. You can bend the knees, resting the forearms on the thighs. And now hands to the thighs, scoop the tailbone under as we slowly rise up to standing. Excellent. Now we're going to add a balance pose for our practice. If you're on carpet or a super squishy mat and you'd like to position yourselves on a firmer surface, or even position yourself next to a wall or bring a chair nearby, feel free. I'm going to step off my mat as well because we're going to prepare for a pose that we call tree. So trees have strong foundation, their roots, and certainly the trunk system. So I want you to take note of your feet. We want the feet to be roughly hip distance apart, and we're going to set roots on the right foot to start. But we never want to lock out the joints. We want to keep them soft because when they're soft, then the muscles are activated and they can help improve your balance or catch you if you start to feel yourself swaying. And we're just going to release now that left heel, and you can just rest the left toes. You can also place the heel on top of the right instep or base it out against the ankle. But if you're feeling adventurous, you can also place the foot on the inside of the calf or just above the knee. But maybe send the arms out or holding on with a finger to a surface to help with balance. And also ensure that you're smiling. Modification, you can certainly just elevate the knee and no worries on the external rotation of the hip. Good, and slowly release, and we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So let's set roots. And we're going to elevate that heel, placing it either on the instep, basing it out against the ankle, or you can lift the foot. Even choosing what you'd like to do with the arms, you can send them out, which changes your center of gravity, or you can even bring your hands to heart center. If you're feeling real adventurous, you can send your branches straight up to the sky. Good. Nice deep breaths as you explore your balance, and don't forget to smile. Nice. And release. Give those knees a little wiggle. You're going to feel a little bit more in the calves as well. And now let's bring our attention back to the head of the mat, because we're going to make our transition back down. So first, on an inhale, send those arms straight up. Nice energetic reach. Right hand reaches for the left wrist, and on an exhale, we're going to guide the body to the right. And we don't want to collapse into that side. I want you to lengthen as you extend laterally. Pushing through both feet, let's inhale, slowly rise back up to center, release the bind. We're going to switch hands, and on an exhale, let's guide the body now to the left. Again, we don't want to collapse. Try to lengthen as you extend laterally. Inhale, slowly return back to center, and on an exhale, we're going to swan dive forward, fold, hinge from the hips, and take your time because your back may feel a little tight, so you can certainly bend the knees and just rest the forearms and elbows on the thighs. Bend the knees even more to flatten the palms, and we're just going to step 1 foot at a time back into plank, full or modified, and modified just means lowering the knees. And then on an exhale, shift your hips back for down dog. Fantastic. Exhale, slowly, gently, softly lower those knees. Uncurl the toes. Let's take a seat into child's pose. Well deserved. Breathing from shoulder to shoulder and hip to hip, taking inventory of what you feel and how you feel at this point in your practice. And now on the inhale, we can slowly rise up, walking the knees to the left edge of your mat, lowering the hips to the right, sliding the hands back. And we're going to stay on that right hip, just release that right shin forward. And you can adjust the knee position either close or a little farther away, but we're going to come into a modified pigeon. So this is also a hip opener. You can fold forward over the shin or diagonally over the knee. And you can rest on the forearms and elbows. If you have some pillows, you can stack them underneath to give yourself a little lift. And remember, tight hips affect everything above and below that area. So think of the health of your back and even the lower extremities. And it's not just overworking the legs that can cause tight hips. It's even sedentary lifestyle. So sitting for long periods of time can create stiffness. So let's slowly rise up. And we're just going to lean now to the right so you can sweep that left foot forward, keeping the knee bent. And we're going to place that left hand behind the back and continue your rotation, sitting tall. If you're taking care of the wrists, you can always hug the knee with both arms. But if you're comfortable, go ahead and place the hand behind you and create that corkscrew effect. So you're pulling gently in as you actively twist, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. Good. Inhale, rotate your head to look forward. We're going to exhale, unwind and unthread, but we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So let's swing the legs to the right, but keeping that left shin forward. So again, you're creating that little zigzag position with the legs. Your shin's going to be roughly parallel to the front edge of your mat, and you can choose to fold forward over the shin or diagonally over the knee. And just finding your sweet spot, whatever feels good for you. And sending your breath into those nooks and crannies. Good, and gently begin to rise up. And we're just going to lean now to the left and sweeping that right foot forward, anchoring through the sit bones as you transition to the twist in this direction, hugging the right knee either with one arm or both. And remember, keeping the torso tall as you revolve. Inhale, rotate your head to look forward. Exhale, unwind and unthread. And give a quick peek behind you to make sure that you have enough space. We're going to make our transition back to the back. Now, for several weeks, we have been transitioning onto our shoulder and to the back. But if you'd like to challenge your core today, and it's only an option, this is an invitation that you get to decide, you can use the strength of your core by extending through the arms and then slowly, gently, softly unroll. Good. And as soon as the head makes contact, we're going to walk the heels back and just let your lower back soften. And from here, you can start to extend through the arms, either in a full T or with elbows bent, and we'll bring the knees into the chest one at a time. And on an exhale, let's float the knees to the floor on the right, tucking them in and letting them go. And just relax through the shoulders as you rotate your head to the left, breathing into the rotation. Good. Inhale, slowly bring the knees back through center, and then exhale completely. We're going to guide them to the floor on the left. Again, tucking them in and letting them go. Relaxing through the shoulders as you rotate your head to the right, but with eyes closed. Breathe deeply, enjoying the sensations of this final spinal twist. Good. Inhale, bring the knees back through center. We'll keep them tucked in for a moment. Hands on the top edges of the knees, and on an exhale, we're going to lift the head and shoulders, tucking in nice and tight to your cannonball. You can even reach down to your feet for better leverage, as if you were trying to bring the knees right into the shoulders, which deepens that back stretch. And then slowly unroll, lowering one foot at a time, arms down to your sides, holding here. And on an inhale, we'll push with the feet to lift the hips up toward the ceiling, coming into your bridge. Squeezing the glutes, nice delicate arch in the back. Thighs are parallel, toes nice and light. And now on an exhale, slowly, gently, softly release. And as soon as the hips make contact, you get to choose how you'd like to close out your practice. You could stay right here with the knees bent. You could bring the soles of the feet together, resting your hands on your abdomen as you externally rotate at the hips. Or you can extend out into full Shavasana. As always, make sure that you're comfortable. Inviting the eyes to close and taking one more deep cleansing breath. Returning to your normal natural rate. And of course, softening the face with a smile, honoring yourselves for not just completing today's practice, but also for this entire series. Knowing that you've dedicated this time and this space just for you. So go ahead and celebrate your success and the fruits of your practice as you take rest. Good. Now very slowly start to bring your awareness back to your extremities. Wiggling the fingers and the toes and rotate the wrists and the ankles. And then slowly sweep the arms back behind you for one final torso stretch. Reaching through the fingers and toes, arching the back, taking a deep breath here. And then relax the spine, drawing the knees into the chest one at a time. Wrapping the arms around them for another big hug today. And then slowly roll to one side, holding here for 3 deep, easy breaths, preparing the mind and body to make that transition away from your peaceful practice, ready to take on the rest of your day. And only when you're ready, using the strength of your arms, let's slowly rise up to a comfortable seated position at the head of your mat. Fantastic job. I hope you enjoyed this opportunity to build strength, balance, flexibility, and even your peace of mind through your FAMS flow practice. Stay tuned for your mindful moment. This week's mindful prompt is success, and congratulations on the successful completion of the FAMS Flow program. But the journey continues from here. So may the skills and tips you've acquired during this program provide a framework for a healthy lifestyle filled with fitness and mindfulness today and beyond. So please allow the gaze to soften or invite the eyes to close and take the next 2 minutes to sit quietly and reflect on what success means for you.